Hi everyone, this is Madals and welcome to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got a Terran v Terran. It's from the Razor replay pack of the week and it is between TSLPunisher, the red Terran in the top left, and LiquidSea, the blue Terran in the top right. And well, it's from the Razor replay pack of the week from Team Liquid and it is starring their new kid on the block, C. And well, this is me casting all of his games from this replay pack in one day. At least all of the ones I know who's playing, because unfortunately, because he sits there and plays on the Korean server, so many of them are going for like those barcode names which just basically look like that it's pretty much impossible to know who he's playing, and it's really quite frustrating. But that aside, the games I've cast of his already, wowzer, he is absolutely boss moding it. And yeah, it's impressive to watch this play. It's really, really nice. Now, obviously, Punisher, a good player as well. The map in Tomb Valley. Being TvT, what can we expect? Well, obviously, there's lots of options available in TvT. Gone are the days where it's just kind of they both turtle up until the map's mined out and then try and engage cost effectively. You see lots of early aggression. You see lots of very, very interesting plays that can go down. But generally speaking, we're going to see Marine Tank and obviously then the air superiority in terms of Vikings and things like that. So we'll wait and see how it all goes down. Being in the horizontal close spawn positions, that's going to add some interesting stuff to it, because these third bases really can... well, the rush distance is tiny, to be honest, so we should see a good vertical split across the map. There's some interesting plays you can get on with this as well, because basically, if you set up a siege line here, for example, you can bring medevacs with units straight over onto the top of the siege line without having to worry about marines picking them off, which can be fun. There's also this big dead space here, so you can get some drops into the third base, etc. So we'll wait and see how that goes down. Obviously, it doesn't matter too much about they could expand just straight down, so they go natural third, and that'd be quite advantageous because the rocks here, and obviously you can float the command centers in there, which can be good, but obviously you're then quite exposed to any kind of drops. Now, see, he's gone for the command center first build for the moment. That's compared to the 1 Rax build coming out from Punisher, which is going to be a 1 Rax command center. So obviously that just means that C's going to have his command center up slightly sooner. He's also following up with a second barracks as well, which is the right thing to do. We should see Punisher get up, well, 2 more Rax following on from this. It's the fairly standard way you go 1 Rax CC, Rax, gas, and that is a really solid opener, and it's really used well in a lot of matchups. I mean, it's also a very, very strong opener in ZVT, but instead of going for the double racks, you get the double gas and then a factory, obviously, to get the Hellions out. But still, the 1 Rax command center opening is really, really strong. I'm seeing a big metagame shift to a lot of players favouring that, to be honest, and for good reason. Looking around here, obviously scouting from Punisher, he is the most unlucky scouter ever, but it looks like C is as well. And I didn't actually think on the ladder you could spawn in this horizontal close spawn position anymore. I thought that it was restricted to vertical or diagonal, but it would appear that I'm wrong, considering they have spawned in the close by horizontal position. So yeah, the reason you see a lot of tournament maps take that off is just because it can be really awkward in the third bases, and it's a bit weird. This map also, I read a really interesting article in Team Liquid about it, that the gas positioning has like huge effects on the gas income if you only take 1 gas, and which gas you take first based on spawn location and things like that. So that's really quite interesting to read, and basically there's this gas is a lot further away than that one. I don't know if you can see how easy it is to see here, but basically that is a lot further than there due to the diagonal distances, and that affects mining time and everything like that. And if you're not like a Grandmaster player, it makes no difference to you most likely, but it is something that was really interesting to read, and any top level players watching this, do give it a look if you haven't read it on Team Liquid. It's in the strategy forum, because it is definitely worthwhile taking a look at, and a couple of people don't even realise it, and it has changed the effect. And basically it's all due to basically you get 1 SCV queuing there, so it's slightly, see that brief delay, whereas this side, obviously they're just constantly going, they just go instantly in and out, and yeah, whatever. Looking here though, obviously we've got, of course, the Tech Lab coming down here, we've got Combat Shield on the way, and well, Punisher looking to be in a good spot. He's getting his starport up now as well, so really teching up nicely. The engineering bay out of C, so C really just focusing on getting a hell of a load of marines out and upgrading that infantry. We should see the +1 Terran weapons come down soon, and yeah, looking behind this, it's pretty standard. He's just getting an awful lot of stuff, but the scan goes down and sees everything. Sees the factory now starting. Looking up here though for the moment for Punisher, well, obviously he's just pretty happy. Both these players sitting back quite comfortably. We do have the first tank supply blocks, unfortunately, both for Punisher, which is not something that you want to see, actually. You don't want to get supply blocks at this level of play. You can't afford to. Looking, obviously, the tech lab is there. No siege mode started yet, which obviously needs to get started relatively soon, to be honest. Just a lack of minerals for the time being. And looking up for C, well, he's pretty comfortable. I mean, he's got Stim on the way out. He's got another tech lab coming down. They may get switched. He's got a reactor coming down there. So, again, things going pretty nicely for him. He's getting up that missile turret as well, ready to deal with potential banshees or any kind of drop play or anything like that. Obviously, the first tank out, still no siege mode. So, maybe just going for some kind of quick timing push. That's always a possibility. It can be quite nice. Looking here, though, C's in a good defensive position, and he's just got so much stuff. He's also sending these Marines down here, which... why? Again, I don't know where he's trying to run to. Where is he actually scouted? So he knows his opponent's up there. He must just be going around trying to prevent any kind of scouting which may have been sitting in these sort of positions. But I find that a bit odd, to be honest. He's going to go through the watchtower, just take a quick look. We do have the drop coming in here, though, for Punisher. That could be very, very strong. Of course, he's getting siege mode up now at the same time as C as well, so... they're getting very similar timings, but the missile turrets are there, and are they going to be able to shut down that medevac in time? Well, it'll be pretty close, and it does seem the Punisher's going to pull back, just to be on the safe side. Now, we do have 2 Marines coming towards the middle, which are going to find all of the rest of those units for the time being. Looking here, we do have, of course, more Marines and Marauders coming down. We do have the 4th gas just started, only 3 gases down for Punisher, and the tanks now moving across. But the 2 Marines in the center are going to see all those forces. We do have C moving the rest of his Marines across as well. Now, the medevac dropping out all the units, and, well, where is Punisher going to go? Because he doesn't want to get sandwiched in by these units. That would be very, very bad for him. Siege mode isn't quite done yet, and it looks like he's just going to sit back and wait patiently, which I definitely think is the right move to make. You don't want to rush in to any engagements, especially in TvT. TvT, if you get a bad engagement, it can cost you the game, really, at any stage. And with the siege tank mechanic, you've got to be so strategic. It's why I really like Terran, because it is so strategic. Anyway, the Starball coming down with the reactor on it. Siege mode done for both players now. Those tanks sieged up slightly more forward, and I'm going to be really interested to see which the bases they take if we do get that far. There is a command center coming down up here, so he's going to take that one. And again, the trouble is you're expanding towards your opponent, which is always a little bit dangerous, but the tanks, therefore, can move and come and sit in sort of these kind of positions, which will defend both the natural and the 3rd base, so that's not too bad. C also taking that base, and, well, in a good siege position. The only trouble is his units, rather than being inside the base, are up higher. Of course, that's advantageous in some ways, because obviously you've got the high ground, you've got the ram to defend that, etc. But it just means that if units loop around here, it could be a little bit awkward, so maybe he'll put some tanks in this sort of middle area just to try and help all of it. But we'll wait and see how it goes down. Looking here in terms of the supply count, C getting slightly ahead, but only by about 4 supply. The worker count in Punisher's favour by actually quite a good chunk. He's got his 3rd command center down, well, quite a bit before that of C, so that's going to help. He's trying to move the units to the middle of the map. Upgrade-wise, obviously, we've got Punisher getting out the +1 infantry weapons. That's really the only upgrade we've got at the moment, and the infantry armor coming down. C, on the other hand, is getting the +1 infantry armor, but no weapons yet, so we'll wait and see if that started up. But here come over the Marines, and they do actually manage to get behind the tanks. Will they be able to pick them off? One tank's going to go down exceptionally quickly. The tank siege up in a good position, and C has managed to position himself between that and his opponent, and that in one absolutely beautiful move could very well win him the game. There's only 1 tank up there at the moment. What you do to deal with this is well, I wouldn't even bother sieging up the tanks, to be honest. I just run them straight up there and start dealing the damage. The Marines need to be careful, though, the tanks, so they have good firepower. But now, of course, the siege line is right at Punisher's natural, and, well, the SCV is getting pulled forward towards the tanks, which is never a good move. So much damage is going to be able to be done, and, of course, that tank in the background as well is going to help deal an awful lot of damage. It will obviously mean that some of his own tanks will get picked off. I'm trying to get a good view of this, but as you can see, the SCV is now pulling back, and just so many have been killed. 21 SCVs killed, but it's now 1 tank v 1 tank, but reinforcements coming in for C right now, and, well, he's in a good spot. The 2 medevacs are there, but there's more medevacs for Punisher at the moment. But look at this just train of blue coming across the map. The 2nd tank joining in there for C, and Punisher is now completely confined to his natural base. There's no way he can take his 3rd safely now, which means C is a base up, which is brilliant. But a drop coming down, but the scan goes off in time, sees that the medevacs picked it up, and he's going to utilise the fact that he's got extra ground forces right now to push back through. And there is the GG, and C in what was just absolutely amazing. And, well, I'm like super impressed with C right now. So yeah, guys, if you did enjoy, please subscribe, leave a cool comment, and I'll catch you tomorrow for yet another new game. Bye for now.